Yawa parurulo, lo wangetek, yawa parurulo, lo wangetek. Woi, gimicham, mari, gimodong tokirkigen. Woi, gimicham, mari, gimodong tokirkigen. Choke joy, 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 joy.
Raila Odinga was born on 7th January 1945 in Maseno, a small town in Kisumu District, Nyanza Province, Kenya. His parents were Mary Juma Odinga and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first vice president after independence. Raila grew up in a Luo family in the area near Lake Victoria, and life there was simple with fishing and farming all around. He started school at Kisumu Union Primary School, then he went to Maranda Primary in Bondo and Maranda High School until 1962. At 17 years old, his father sent him to Germany to study, where he first learned German at the Herder Institution in Leipzig for 2 years. In 1965, he got a scholarship to the Technik Hochschule in Magdeburg, East Germany, where he studied mechanical engineering and graduated in 1970 with a degree in welding. Back in Kenya, Raila started a business called Standard Processing Equipment Construction Limited, which made machines for factories. This work showed his skills from German, and he mixed ideas from Kenya and the Eastern Bloc. These early years shaped him into a strong leader called a Gwambo, meaning a man of turmoil in Luo. Raila Odinga's politics started with big risks, and in the 1970s and 1980s, he fought against one-party rule under President Daniel Arap Moi. In 1982, the government said he helped a failed coup, and they arrested him without a trial. He spent 6 years in committee prison from 1982 to 1988, and he got out but went back in 1988 for a short time. In 1990, he joined pro-democracy protests and got arrested again until 1991. That year, he fled to Norway to escape threats, and in 1992, he joined the Forum for the Restoration of Democracy (FORD) to push for multi-party elections. He won a seat in parliament for Langata from 1993 to 2013, and after his father died in 1994, he left FORD and started the National Development Party (NDP). In 1997, he ran for president with NDP and came third. In 2001, he joined KANU and became energy minister until 2002. But he left when Moi picked Uhuru Kenyatta as a successor. Raila helped form the National Rainbow Coalition (NAC) and backed Moi Kibaki in 2002, where they won, and Raila became roads minister from 2003 to 2005. Fights over power led him to start the Orange Democratic Movement (ODM) in 2005, and he ran for president in 2007 and almost won, but violence followed. In 2008, he became prime minister in a power-sharing deal until 2013, and he ran again in 2013, 2017, and 2022, always close but losing. In 2017, Kenya's Supreme Court cancelled the election at his push, the first time ever, and he saw himself in as people's president in 2018. Raila never gave up, and he led the opposition and tried for African Union chair in 2025 but lost. Raila found steady love amid all the chaos, and in 1973, he married Ida Betty Anyango Oyo, who was a teacher at Kenya High School, where they met in Nairobi. Their wedding was quiet in the 1970s when Kenya was changing fast. They lived in Karen, a green suburb of Nairobi. Ida was Raila's rock, and when he went to prison in 1982, she cared for their family alone. Security forces searched their home, but she stayed strong, and she helped with his campaigns in the 1990s and ran businesses like East African Spirits. Ida also fought for women's rights and education. Through elections, protests, and losses, Ida kept the family close, and in 2023, they marked 50 years together with a big party. Raila called her his strength. She balanced his loud fights with calm support, and their story shows love can last in tough times. Raila and Ida had 4 children who they grew up in Karen and on family farms in Siaya, and each one took part of Raila's fire but made their own path. First was Fidel Odinga, who was born in 1973. He studied mechanical engineering like his dad. Fidel worked in business but died in 2015 at the age of 41 from health issues, and his death hurt the family, but it pushed Raila to fit Kenya's healthcare. Next is Rosemary Odinga, who was born in 1977, and she studied at the University of Nairobi and runs farm businesses. She helps women in rural areas grow food and sell it, and Rosemary stays out of big politics but supports her dad's work quietly. Raila Odinga Jr. was born in 1979, who is a filmmaker and an artist. He studied in Kenya and abroad, and his movies show Luo culture and Kenya's stories. He joined protests and makes photos of rallies. The youngest is Winnie Odinga, who was born in 1990, and she studied international relations in South Africa. Winnie won a seat in Parliament for Kibra in 2019, and she fights for youth jobs and rights. In 2023, she married a tech businessman. The kids faced loss and wins with Raila, and they keep his ideas alive in business, art, and politics. When votes failed, Raila took to the streets. Maandamano means protest in Swahili, and he led many to demand fair change. In the 1990s, he joined Sabasaba marches for multi-party rule, and police stopped them, but it helped end one-party system. After 2007 elections, his calls for action led to big violence, where over 1,000 people died and 250,000 lost homes. In 2017, after a bad election, Raila sued and won in court. The vote was cancelled. Protests raged for months in Nairobi and beyond, and people burned tires and fought police. Over 50 died. Raila said no reforms, no election. It forced a new vote, though he pulled out. On 30th January 2018, he saw himself in as people's president in Uhuru Park. Thousands came with songs and flags. TV stations went off air from fear, and in 2022 and 2023, he led more marches against high prices and bad taxes. Youths joined big in 2023, and Raila talked peace after bus streets stayed key for his voice. Raila changed Kenya step by step, and he fought for multi-party votes in the 1990s with men like Kenneth Matiba, and it worked by 1992. In 2002, his team beat KANU after 40 years. As roads minister, he fixed highways. In 2005, he said no to a bad constitution draft. The North Side won, paving way for the 2010 rules. That brought devolution, and 47 counties got money and power. This helped poor areas like Turkana share resources fairly. As Prime Minister from 2008, he ended post-election fights with a deal. In 2018, he shook hands with Uhuru Kenyatta and started Building Bridges Initiative BBI for less tribes and more unity. Courts stopped it in 2022, but it cut hate. Raila pushed free school, more women in parliament and youth jobs, and outside Kenya, he worked on African roads and debt help, where his work made Kenya fairer, less split by tribes. Raila switched parties like a pro, and each move built his power. He started with Ford in 1991 for democracy, and it is split, so he made Ford Kenya in 1992. After his dad died, he quit in 1994 for National Development Party NDP, and in 1997, NDP ran him for president. In 2001, NDP joined KANU and Raila became party secretary. But in 2002, he left for Liberal Democratic Party LDP and helped NAC win. Betrayed, he started the Orange Democratic Movement ODM in 2005, and ODM became huge, orange colors everywhere. In 2013, ODM joined Coalition for Reforms and Democracy called with Wiper. For 2017, it was National Super Alliance NASA with 4 parties in 2022, as Azimio la Umoja had 14 groups from Luo to coast areas. ODM is still his base, and Raila built teams, not just stayed put. He went to Kochi, Kerala, India in September 2025 for heart checkups and Ayurvedic treatment. At 80, he had old health worries but seemed okay. He stayed at a clinic in Kuthatukulam and Akulam district. On October 15, 2025, he took a morning walk and at 9 a.m. cardiac arrest hit. He was rushed to Devamatha Hospital but died there. His brother Oburu said Raila was resting and getting meds. News has spread fast, and Kenya is mourning the loss of a great leader, and Raila left as a fighter for fair Africa. His end was simple, but his mark stays big.
Round the Bay of Mexico, where the sun shines daily on the mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship. When I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, but I'm sad to say I'm on my way. I won't be back for many a days. My head is down, my head is turning around.
Reporting for Obinna TV updates, I'm Magindumia.